Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Josh, and this is your stimulus check update for the next stimulus package for Tuesday, February 23rd. I hope everyone's having a wonderful Tuesday afternoon so far. In this video, I'll be discussing updates in regards to the current relief package and the third stimulus check. I'll also be discussing the $1,400 direct payments, what Federal Reserve Chairman Jay Powell is saying about our future recovery, and then I'll be wrapping up this video by answering some of the comments and questions that I received in my previous video. But first, if you wouldn't mind real quickly liking this video, give me a big thumbs up. It really just helps with the YouTube algorithm in terms of pushing this video out to other viewers like you, and hopefully helping other people like you as well. Okay, so during Federal Reserve Chairman Jay Powell's testimony in front of the Senate Banking Committee today, he said that economic recovery still has a long way to go. Of course, at the same time, Powell failed to either endorse or condemn the $1.9 trillion relief package that's currently being pushed through Congress. Instead, Powell said that by being cool or uncool with certain policies, he would be expressing an opinion. And that is something he wanted to avoid doing at this point in time. Because of this, he avoided questions from Republican lawmakers such as whether or not they should pass such a large package, whether or not they should increase the federal minimum wage up to $15 per hour, among other things. One question Powell did answer, though, was whether or not inflation could be an issue in the near future. To that, Powell said that inflation is not a problem at this time, as he sees it. So, while Powell didn't want to express his opinions on certain measures in the bill, he did make clear that we have a long way to go in order to return to full employment levels. So, really, at this point, the only measure that's possibly holding this bill up is a provision that would increase the federal minimum wage up to $15 per hour. As soon as tomorrow, it's possible that we could hear a ruling from the parliamentarian on whether or not the provision to increase the federal minimum wage up to $15 per hour meets the standards of the Byrd Rule. If they're given the green light, they'll be able to include that measure in the bill, where at that point, their only obstacles will be Joe Manchin, Jon Tester, and Kyrsten Sinema. These are the three Democrats in the Senate who, at the moment, oppose that provision. However, recently, Joe Manchin expressed his desire to instead increase the minimum wage to something more suitable at $11 per hour. When White House Press Secretary Jim Psaki was asked today whether or not Biden would sign a bill with the $11 per hour minimum wage Manchin is talking about, instead of the $15 he proposed, she said that Biden still stands by $15, but she didn't necessarily say no. So it should be really interesting to see how much progressive Democrats are willing to compromise from their $15 per hour number, and if they're willing to come all the way down to $11. This is something that we'll definitely need to keep an eye on over the coming days. Also, over the next few days, we can expect for the bill to move past the House Rules Committee, which is basically a formality. What the House Rules Committee needs to do by the end of this week is to finalize everything in the bill, making sure it's ready to be voted on. Then, by Friday or Saturday of this week, again, we should expect for the House to pass this bill. As far as the timeline goes for the $1,400 direct payments, just because I'm asked this in almost every video, at this point, we can expect them to begin going out at some point in middle to late March. At the moment, Democratic leaders and Joe Biden have said their deadline to get this bill signed into law is March 14th. If they accomplish this goal, then the payment should begin to go out within 1 week, with the only thing possibly holding them up is the fact that the IRS will also be busy processing tax returns. So we'll just have to wait and see. Okay, so at this point in time, I'm going to move right along to answering some of the comments and questions that I received in my previous video. So without further ado, let me go ahead and jump into the first comment of this video, which is from Bruce. Bruce says, "Good morning, Josh. I have a friend who never got the first or second check. If he works for cash only, is he able to receive any of these stimulus payments? Also, does he need a bank account to receive them?" Okay, thank you so much for your question, Bruce. And as long as your friend wasn't claimed as a dependent on someone else's tax returns, then he should have been eligible to receive the first two direct payments. However, in order to do so, he would need to fill out a tax return this year, claiming the $1,800 he missed out on so far as a recovery rebate credit. This $1,800, of course, is the combined amount from the first and second round of direct payments. Whether or not he also puts down the cash he received under the table is completely up to him, of course, but I'm not going to personally recommend tax evasion on my channel for obvious reasons. If he chooses to do so, he should also keep in mind that the amount he'll most likely owe in taxes is probably going to exceed his credit, which means that he may end up actually owing the IRS some money. Either way, I would strongly recommend that he does so, just because, for one, eventually the IRS is probably going to find out and there could be stricter penalties, and for two, just for legality purposes. Additionally, in order to receive this money, he would not need to have a bank account, as he could also opt to receive this money in the form of a check in the mail. Now, if he does decide to report his cash-based income over the past few years, I would recommend that he reach out to a CPA just to ensure that everything is done properly. Okay, moving along to the next comedies video, which is from Gretchen. Gretchen says, my 23-year-old son lives with his dad, goes to college, and works 30 hours per week. He did not get a stimulus check. Will he get a stimulus check this time? Okay, thank you so much for your question, Gretchen. And yes, even if he was ineligible for the first two direct payments, he should be receiving the next one. Now, it's also highly possible he was eligible for the first two payments if he's not being claimed as a dependent by you or his dad. If you or his dad plan on continuing to claim him as the dependent, then unfortunately he would not be eligible for the first two payments. If he's not being claimed on anyone's tax returns for this year, then when he goes to file his tax returns, he could claim $1,800 in tax credits, which would allow him to receive that money. However, if he's going to be claimed, even though he wouldn't have been eligible to receive the first two payments, he will still be eligible for the next one. This is because dependents, even those over the age of 17, will be receiving the third direct payment of $1,400. Alright, moving along to the next comedies video, which is from Abner. Abner says, hi Josh, what if your child is born in June of this year? Will I receive a child tax credit since my child will be born before July? Okay, thank you so much for your question, and yes, as long as your child is born this year, they'll be eligible to receive the increased child tax credit. Even those parents who end up having their babies born on December 31st of this year will be eligible to receive the increased child tax credit. However, in those cases, more than likely, since it's so late in the year, they'll need to claim the $3,600 on the tax returns they filed next year. For everyone else who has already claimed their dependents on their tax returns, they should begin receiving monthly payments beginning in July. These monthly payments, of course, will be $250 for children ages 6 to 17 and $300 for children under the age of 6. Alright, so on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video. If you did enjoy the content in this video and you'd like to see more videos like it, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. It is completely free to do so, and it's a great support to me. Also, if you'd like to receive 4 free stocks from Webull, with 2 of them valued all the way up to $1,600 each, or 1 free stock from Robinhood, just for signing up and linking your bank account, please feel free to claim those free stocks by clicking the link in the description box below. And finally, if you join Rakuten with my referral link in the description box below and spend at least $20, Rakuten will give you $20 cash back. This means that you can buy an item through Rakuten with one of their referral links, such as Nike, for $20, and Rakuten will give you $20 just for making that purchase. This is just an incredible deal that I would love for everyone to take advantage of. Okay, so until next time, I'll see you guys, and I hope you have a great day today.